we're going to use Pythagoras' theorem to find missing sides on right-angled triangles. Pythagoras' theorem tells us that the sum of the squares on the two legs equals the square on the hypotenuse. So here's our triangle. I haven't drawn any squares on the legs, but we know that the area of the square on this side is going to be 6 by 6. And the area of the square on this side is going to be 8 by 8, 8 squared. So we can just use this formula and put our lengths in. So for our two legs, one is 8, one is 6. 8 squared adds 6 squared. The area of the squares on the two legs is equal to the square on the hypotenuse. So we can work these out. So we found the area of the square on the hypotenuse, but now to finish off, we want to find just this length, not the area of the square, the length of the hypotenuse. So we need to square root both sides. So square root of 100 is 10, and that'll give us the length of our hypotenuse. You can write it the other way around with the subject on the left, h equals 10. If you're wondering why I'm not worrying about the possibility of h being minus 10, it's because we're using lengths and we don't have negative lengths. Let's try that one again. Let's look at number 2. So the square on this side plus the square on that side gives us the square on this side. So leg squared plus leg squared equals the hypotenuse squared. So 18 squared plus 11 squared gives us j squared. So we found the square on the hypotenuse, that's the area, but now we need the hypotenuse itself, so we need to square root. So that's it exactly, or we can use our calculator and give it to 3 significant figures. And there we have it, our final answer. What about when we're finding one of the legs instead of the hypotenuse? Okay, let's look at question 3. So here we're finding the length of a leg. Here's the hypotenuse and this is the other leg. So we can still say the leg squared plus the leg squared equals the hypotenuse squared. So we can work out our squares. So we want to find out what L squared is. So we need to take away 49 from both sides. So we found the size of the square on this side, so now we need to instead just find the length. And we do that by taking the square root. It's 24 exactly. Let's do one more. Question 4. And again, we know the hypotenuse and we're asked to find the length of one leg. So we know the sum of the squares on the two legs equals the square on the hypotenuse. So Can work these out. We want to find x squared first, so we need to take away 1849. So now we found the square on the leg, and to find the leg we square root. So there it is as a surd. We've got the exact answer, or we can use our calculator to give it to 3 significant figures. And there's our answer.